Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing today? You doing good? I was just playing with my music. I don't know what's going on. I think we have a commercial. So, it's okay. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Tara. Hello. So, if you're painting with me today, say hello. If you're doing double trouble and painting with somebody else with you. Hi, Hannah. Hi. Good to see you again. Hello. Hey, Tara. Hannah's here today. Is the man with you? Hi, Christina. Hi. Is Iris painting too? You just watching today, Christina? That's okay. That's okay. Yep, see, and there's Iris. Iris is saying the same thing. I'm telling you, you sisters. It's awesome. Awesome. So, hello, hello, hello. Double Trouble Tuesday. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, that's all right. You guys can watch and hang out. Nope, no Dustin tonight. That's okay. No Dustin tonight, Hannah. That's all right. We don't need him anyway. It'd be just us girls. Absolutely. And you could tell him I said that, too. Hello, hello, hello. You just got home? Well, it sounds like a pretty busy day if you just got home. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. So, hello, everybody. We're going to do the chameleons. I got to go through my brushes spiel. Let's wait for more people to come on, though. Hi, Magna. I miss you too, sweetie. We got big plans. I got to let everybody know about it. Yes, I hope he does feel better. Hi, Julia. Hi, Tammy. What's your mom cooking now, Julia? I hope Dustin feels better, Hannah. But you all know that a man sneezes, it's the end of the world. And a woman sneezes and we get right up. So, hi, Tammy. Hi, Julia. Hi, loves. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? So, we're going to be painting the chameleons today. What? So excited for this. If you're doing a double canvas, let me know. Let me know if you're doing a double canvas, because then I will show the instructions for that. Nice. Right, Hannah? I'm telling you, never fails. So if you're doing a double canvas, let me know. Let me go over the brushes. Brushes today, we have our 1-inch flat. That is a bigger boy. So true. We have Tiny. He's for the details. We're going to be using a small fluffy today, but he doesn't have to be that fluffy, just as long as it's a little bit thicker brush than your Tiny, and as long as it comes to a point, doesn't have like a flat edge. That's why we're using this one. And then we have a larger fluffy. Yes, men are babies when they're sick. Yep, then we have a large fluffy, and of course we have good old mini me. There he is. Looks just like big boy, except he's smaller. Alright, I know. That's how men are when they're sick. So that's a lot of brushes today. A lot of brushes. They go in your water. They stay in your water unless I instruct you to clean them. When I want you to clean a certain brush, I will say swirl, tap, dab on your paper towel. You want to dab in the shape of your bristles and make sure that they are wet but not dripping. Okay, so I am going to pour my paint. Men are total babies when they get sick, 6,000%. I am going to pour my paint. If you guys want to take a screenshot so you have a reference, go for it. I have to lower the music because I feel like I'm shouting. Same paint every party. Yellow, red, blue, white, black. We're using it all today. There we go. All right, so everybody get yourselves ready and we're gonna paint. So I found this new music and I'm kind of digging it, but there's going to be commercials, so just deal with it. Oh, Magna and Priya, you guys are painting? Awesome. You painting together? Okay, great. So I will show you the double canvas stuff, okay, when you're ready. Oh, I didn't go over the deal for this week coming up and all that good stuff. Okay. So, if anyone is hurting for supplies and doesn't know really what to do, my kits are still available. You get 5 3-ounce bottles of paint, an easel, 2 canvases, decorate canvas bag. Butters is here today. Palette and all of the brushes that I use. Exact brand, exact type. Okay? This is our secret little thing going on for Tuesday. I didn't finish it yet, but this is going to be our Christmas in July painting. And for Friday the 31st, no party this week, guys, but the 31st, your choices are going to be beach trucking. It's upside down. Garden grows. And we have the poppies. We have the poppies. So, that is to vote on the event on the 31st. Like I said, there will be no party the 25th, 24th. And drum roll, please, for our lovely Christmas in July painting, which I still have to put all the little fun details in. Da, 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 da. It's gonna be a Zoom party. The truck's cute, right, Hannah? That's one of my favorites. So, next Tuesday, Double Trouble Tuesday, will be a Zoom party. So, if you do not have the Zoom app, download it. It's free. It's easy to do. Tammy and Julia, my love, she is going to be my techie for the day, and we will all actually get to see each other face to face. Going to be here at 5 o'clock, but we're going to be doing Zoom, so get ready for that. Tara, get your stuff together. What are you doing? All right, I'm going to pour my paint. Everybody else get their stuff together. If you have any questions, 6,000% ask me what those questions are, and I will get back to you, or our in-house Magna expert, she will help answer the questions too, won't you, Magna? Because you are a rock star. And I'm going to get my paint, so everybody else get their stuff together. Yes, the truck is super, super cute. I did a whole series of trucks, but then I wound up selling some of them. I had a truck for every season. You're going to need a lot, if you're doing the green background, you're going to need a lot of blue. Butters, what are you doing? What are you doing, Butters? What are you doing? Huh? What's going on? What are you doing, bud? Huh? You want to say hi to everybody. Is that the problem? I didn't tell you to say hi? Alright, Butters wants to say hi. That he's being noisy. Say hi, Butters. Say hi to your friends. Say hi, buddy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? There's what Butters is. Say hi. That's right. Say hi to all your friends. Say hi. Good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. So, we might hear Butters chiming in here and there, but that's okay. Alright. So, Magna and Priya, you're doing the double canvas together. It's a little different today. So what you're going to do is you have your two canvases, right? One of you is going to paint the top chameleon, and then one of you can paint the bottom one. Alright? So, when I'm doing the bottom half of the canvas, that will be one canvas for you, and when I'm doing the top half of my painting, that would be the other canvas. Now, it's up to you when you display them. You could display them one on top of each other, or you could display them side by side. So that is completely up to you how you want to do that. If you're going to do them side by side, you want this stem to connect to this stem. Alright, so when you do it side by side, right, so you're going to paint this stem in, right? So if you're going to put the other one here, you want to have that going all the way across both. If you do up and down, doesn't matter. If you're going to display it side by side, you just want the tree to line up. Alright? If you have any questions, you guys let me know, alright? I know that Magna's the expert, so should be all set. You should be okay. I'm going to move this a little closer. There we go. Now we can see what's up, right? Alright. Let me know when you guys are ready to go. Yes, I think the truck's super, super, super cute. Okay. So, we should be good. Christina and Iris, you guys are just checking me out today. Tammy and Julie is in the house. Priya and Magna's painting double canvas today. Double trouble going on. Double trouble going on. Alright, you ready, Spaghetti? Alright, Magna, did you have Taekwondo today or what? What's going on with that? Hannah's ready. Alright. Alright, Hannah. Okay, so I am just putting the milk in my coffee because that's important. Hi, Pat. How you doing, love? So, guys, take your screenshot if you want it for your reference. There you go. Take your screenshot. Okay? So, other than Magna and Priya, you guys are going to hold your canvases horizontally today. So, double canvas, you're holding your canvases horizontally. Sideways. Okay? Hi, Tammy. Hi, Julia. You guys are all set? Awesome. I don't know where you went. You guys wound up, like, disappearing and then you came back or something. I don't know what's going on. Nancy's here. Hi, Nancy. Nancy, Magna just said ready, Spaghetti. Just to let you know. Now she's stealing your sayings. Everybody else is going to hold their canvas straight up and down. Straight up and down. Alright? And you're going to swirl, tap, dab that big fluffy brush. That big, beat up, old, bristly brush. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to mash that into your paper towel. You're going to mash it in there. When you mash it in there, when you mash it in, it's going to wind up getting fluffy. Big fluffy, that's right. That's what we're doing. So, you're going to take a bigger fluffy. Where's Lisa? Lisa's usually the one I do Italian to. And on your palette, you want to add whites, blue, and the smallest amount of yellow. No, wait. A large amount of yellow. My bad. So, a lot of blue, a lot of yellow, a lot of white. And you can load this brush up. He holds a lot of paint. Look how much paint is on there. Nice, Magna. So, you can load this brush up with a lot of paint. And you're very simply going to do like these crisscrosses or these mushes. Whatever you want to do. So, this is for the whole background. You're doing the whole canvas this way. To get Kelly green, that's why I had to reverse that Willy Wonka when I said a little bit of yellow. Because actually to get a Kelly green color, you want a lot of yellow. A lot of yellow and a lot of blue. And if you notice, I am just doing a swirly motion. See that? I am just mashing and swirling and spreading. But if you see how much paint this brush holds, I already covered almost a third of my canvas in one shot. So, play with this. I want you to play with it. Different colors, different places. If you don't like the swirls, you could do X's. You can do a little bit of both. You can go over it nice and smooth and blend it all together and make it nice and soft, or you can leave it with all the different variations of the colors. So play with this. You know, grab a lot of yellow and a little bit of blue and then put that in a section. And then maybe grab some white and put that on it to get a different tone. Because behind our chameleons, they're hiding, you know, they're in like a tropical kind of forest area. So the colors behind them aren't going to be the same color throughout. There's going to be dark spots, there's going to be light spots, there's going to be all sorts of things going on. So if you notice, I am just grabbing paint and I'm playing with it. That time I only grabbed blue. And I'm putting the blue in and I'm mashing it in there. So you guys can have fun. Do you have to have a green background? No. Do you have to have the color chameleons I'm doing? No. So, you play with that blue, yellow, and white. Now, if you want the Kelly green color, if you want the forest green color, that light green like this, you use a lot more yellow. Okay? Because we've done paintings before where we wanted like a turquoise green, and that wasn't a lot of yellow at all. But for this kind of green, more yellow. And that's it, guys. That's what you're going to do. You're going to fill your entire canvas playing around with those amazing colors and making all these little things happen. See how I have yellow and Kelly green and a darker place here? So you just randomly grab those colors and you play around. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Yes, Julia. So your mom was telling me next week she's going to be home early. So we get to do the Zoom party. So Double Trouble Tuesday next week. What date is that? That is the 28th. Double Trouble Tuesday on the 28th is going to be our Christmas in July. We're going to have 2 snowmen on the beach. You just saw a sneak peek of that. And it's going to be a Zoom party. So, our family actually gets to meet each other all face to face. All face to face. So, I am so excited about that. I will actually get to see you guys, directly critique you on what you're doing. It's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. And it's still free. So you let everybody out there know that we're doing a free Zoom party. And it's going to be our Christmas in July party. So, what? Can't get better than that. Can't get better than that. So I'm just doing my swirls and my X's and all sorts of fun stuff. and I'm going to fill this whole entire canvas. And if you want to paint your sides, go ahead, paint your sides. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. But this brush holds a lot of paint, so I can very simply fill in a lot of area really quickly. So that is the good thing about this brush. Fluffy, you know, we use Big Boy a lot because he has that nice flat edge, but Fluffy has a lot of talents too, you know. So don't count Fluffy out. That's all I gotta say. Even though we do not use him as often as Big Boy, he does a lot of cool stuff. Definitely does a lot of cool stuff. Oh yeah, so if you are in New Jersey, if you are in the area, I will actually be doing 3 live paint parties on Saturday. In person, Julie and Tammy are going to be there because they're awesome. And some other helpers are going to be there. Some of you are coming out to see me, this I know already. 2 of the paintings I already did videos on. The last painting of the day is something new. It's Sunset Meditation. It's completely going to be safe. It's going to be a minimum of 10 people sitting painting with me. And all of the guidelines we're supposed to follow right now will be in place. So if you're concerned about that, because, you know, Miss Eve here, I'm kind of a germaphobe. So, trust me, there will be no shenanigans going on. That is for sure. No shenanigans going on. Nope, nope, nope. I didn't grab enough yellow paint. I have to go get more yellow paint. How's everybody doing out there? You digging this? This is pretty cool, right? Makes a lot of cool, different little things happen then. All you're doing is mushing paint together. If you mush those 3 colors together, you can get all this cool stuff going on. See all those cool things going on, and I didn't do anything special. Nothing you guys can't do. How you doing, Nancy? How you feeling today? How you feeling today, Nancy? Pretty good? Oh, and you guys want to know what? Nicola and Natasha from Italy reached out to me today and sent me a picture. She did the grease painting. So, we have our international family member. She actually reached out to me today. She watches on the replays because right now it's probably about 2 a.m. for them. So, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Iris and Christina, what'd you guys do all day? You still with me? Or did you go take a nap? You guys must be really loving doing this because nobody's talking to me. I'm feeling neglected. Why aren't you talking to me? It'd be like, Eve, we're painting. Come on. Quiet. Anybody getting a hand cramp? Hand cramped yet? Guys, you still there? Hi, Iris. So what'd you guys do today? Anything good? It's hot. It must be hot by you because it's hot here. I mean, today's not as bad as yesterday, but it's still hot. So whatever you did today, I hope you stayed nice and cool. Swirl, 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 swirl. Hi, Tara. Your comments keep going away. Where are they going, Nan? Like I'm not seeing them. That happens sometimes. Sometimes I don't see comments, and I won't see them until I look at the feed later, like once the video's over. So if I don't answer you guys, I do apologize. Sometimes they do not show up. Wow. Yeah, see? Hot. I was talking to some people in Arizona. Arizona is like at 110 right now. It's crazy, right? But they have that dry heat out in Arizona. Like we're all sticky here. They have like that dry heat. So I wonder how much of a difference that makes. But I don't know. 110 is still hot if you ask me. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. So, I'm just filling in all the last little bits. Filling in like any little spots I might have missed. 99. Wow, Iris. Yeah, I feel blessed every day that I have my air conditioning. I don't know what I'd do without it. Oh, the space to comment. Oh, okay. So, you might have to like move, move your screen to the left or right or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a techie. Magna would know. You gotta ask Magna. I don't know that stuff. Green is your favorite color? I like green. I like the fact that there's so many different shades of green. And they're all pretty in their own way. So you can have a lot of fun with this. Hey, Hannah, how are you going to put a chihuahua in with chameleons? Seriously, how are you going to do that? I want to know. I want to know how you're going to do that. So all I did was turn my canvas upside down so I can get the space I missed up here. I can get the space that I missed that's up here. So that's all I did. So you guys want to laugh? So Tara's been painting with us, right? And Tara had to get earbuds because her family didn't want to listen to me anymore. She said that they would say swirl tap dab with me and all the other little phrases that I say that I don't even know what I say. And she had to get a pair of earbuds because watching me. Okay. Alright, Hannah. So, you think about that. You think about that. Yeah, guys, remember, I'm working on a 16 by 20. I don't know, maybe on the last branch or maybe you can make little chihuahua flowers. There you go, Nancy. Megna's giving you a heads up there. Megna's giving you a heads up on how to fix the comments thing. Can you see our comments, Nancy? Megna's trying to help you out. I don't know. I'm not a very good technical person. That's why Julie is going to help me with the Zoom stuff. Because she's awesome. I found that hysterical, Tara. I'm thinking, Hannah, I'm thinking how to get a chihuahua in here. Maybe if you make little chihuahua head flowers. That would be kind of funny. And you guys, you don't have to do the flowers. That's okay. I could see when you comment like that, Nan. You guys don't have to do your flowers or your chameleons, the pink or yellow and green if you don't want to. Alright? If you guys want to make your flowers and your chameleons different colors, go for it. You don't have to follow my colors. Chameleons go into doing any color. Oh, okay. Alright, Nan. Well, I can see you when you comment to yourself. So if you have a question, I can see what you're writing. So that's good. Alright, so that's mine all filled in. And we're going to need a dark, dark, dark brown, guys. And my coffee got cold. I can see your comments, Nancy. So, however you're doing that, commenting to yourself or whatever that is, it's working. So if you have a question, I can see it. And I can see what you're saying, okay? So don't worry, no worries about that. So we're going to need a dark, dark, dark brown. So remember to make brown, right? Yellow, red, white, and then add black to it in increments till you get a nice, nice dark brown. So if you're done doing this, while we're waiting for everybody else, make your brown, okay? Unless you have brown. Then you got it easy. I'm so excited to see yours and your mom's, Megna. I have to heat up my coffee. It got cold because I'm talking. Yeah, Magna was giving you the heads up, Nancy, to swipe, but that doesn't seem to be your problem. You're having a different problem, which I don't know what it is. But I can see what you're writing, so that works. Tara, are you catching up now? You all right? Magna, you excited about having a Zoom party and getting to see everybody? I'm excited. So I'm going to swirl tap that big boy and I'm going to make my brown paint. Okay, good. So, brown paint, right? And I'm going to use all this icky stuff because it doesn't matter. We're making brown. So, I'm going to take that icky white. I am too. I'll actually get to see everybody face to face. I'm going to take that icky yellow. And I'm going to take that icky white that I just messed up doing my background. And I'm going to take my red. And I'm going to mix that all together. And you will get a peach. There you go, Nance. There you go. Now you're cooking. Now you're cooking. Awesome. Awesome. Nancy, do you know how to do Zoom? Hannah, do you know how to do Zoom? So that'll give you like a peach, and then you just keep adding black to it until you get the brown color that you want. And if you add that black to it and you wind up getting a gray, add more red. Alright, so if you add that black to your peach and you wind up getting a gray instead of a brown, add more red. And if you add that red and you wind up getting it to be too pinky, like mine's kind of pinky purple, I'm going to add more yellow. So you just play. You just play with it until you get a brown that you like. That's all. That's all. I'm pretty happy with this brown, so I think I'm going to stick with this brown. Maybe I'll play with it some more. Awesome, Hannah. Nancy, you haven't done it yet? Okay, so anybody who hasn't done it and people watching the replay, so you'll be all set for Tuesday if you'd like to join us next Tuesday. If you go into your application store, like if you're on Google, you go into your Google Play Store and type in Zoom, Z-O-O-M, and it'll be an app that you can download. Once you download it, it's going to ask you to do like a setup, put your name, your email, stuff like that. And it's going to have the instruction of join a meeting. Where it says join a meeting, it's going to ask you for the numbers of the meeting. And I'm going to provide those numbers because Julia's going to hook me up with that. Right, Julia? And you guys put those numbers in at the right time, and you'll be able to come in to the meeting, like virtually, and you'll see everybody in their own little squares. So, alright, so we have this all done. We have our brown paint. We're going to be using Big Boy. Alright, Magna and Priya, if you're doing one straight up and down, like if you're going to do them on top of each other, you're both going to paint the same thing right now. So, Magna, you paint branches on yours, and Priya, you paint branches on yours, okay? And everybody else, we're going to paint 4 branches. You guys are going to paint 2 each. So, what you want to do is, on the side of your canvas, remember, I'm doing a 16 by 20, so if yours is smaller, adjust accordingly. But you want to find the middle of the side of your canvas right here, right? Approximately. It's so hard because I'm sideways. So, around there, right? That's my middle. And you are going to go about a hand up from the middle, or 4 fingers, or about a third, right? So if you're looking at this, you're going to go about a third. And very simply, it's a very thick branch. A little bit. You have to dress a little bit. Hi, Lisa. You're cooking? No. You're not cooking, are you? So, you're going to have to... So, it's a really thick branch. So, really, you could just turn Big Boy this way and you just pull. You don't have to worry about it coming out thin or anything else. You just hold him back here and you pull. And the more, you pull, and the faster you pull, the straighter your branch will be. But again, it's a branch. Do we have to have it straight? No. So when you make that branch, you want to make sure you have enough room above the branch to draw your chameleon. All right? And then you're just going to fill that in. Make it thicker. Make it a thicker branch. Like I said, leave enough room to be able to draw your chameleon. Okay, so I'm just going to make it thicker. That's what I'm going to do. I would have never thought you were cooking, Lisa. Would have never crossed my mind. So Lisa and I had an awesome conversation the other day. I was helping her to find paint and an easel for herself. Because she has a lot of the stuff that's in my kit, so she didn't necessarily need to get my kit. But she wanted to know what kind of paint and everything else. So we had a really fun conversation. Okay. That sounds good. Very cool. Thank you, Julia. Thank you for giving Nancy a heads up like that. I don't know if Nancy could see it, right? You said you're using your tablet now, so that's good. Alright, so I'm just wiping the globs off of Big Boy because I never really did that after I mixed my paint. Your next branch is going to start where this end is, and it's going to go up at an angle, like that. See how I did that? Nice and fast, just dropped it in. No worries, okay? And again, you want to make sure you have enough room between the two for your chameleon. So when you go to make this bigger, thicker, make it thicker on top of it, not underneath. Alright, so make it thicker up here. Because you want to leave this angled space open for your chameleon, okay? So you're just going to fill that in now. Making a thicker branch. That's it. So Magna, you and Priya are doing, you're doing this on your canvas, Magna, and Priya, you're doing this on your canvas. Right? Because then both of you are going to have your chameleons right here. Alright, that's fine, Nancy. So, Julia was basically telling you what I was telling you. So, if you download the Zoom app, it's going to ask you for a meeting number. And I am going to provide that in the event. And you very simply just put that number. It says join a meeting. And you hit that button. And you put the number in that spot. And you will be in the party with us. It's really, really easy. And to buy the kit, just message me. Just message me like you've done private, like Facebook friend message me. And I will get that all set up for you. Alright, so your next branches are further down on this half of the canvas now. Okay? And make sure you leave enough space for your chameleon right here. So my double trouble, Magna and Priya, you're going to have your chameleons in here on both of your paintings. And everybody else, make sure you're leaving space right here for the other chameleon, okay? And you're going to go over here. This was your halfway mark, so you're going to go in that sweet spot right there, about a hand down from the halfway mark down. Or a hand up from the bottom. And again, I'm just going to drop this in, but I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle, but I'm going to make sure I leave room for that chameleon. Okay? And I have to make it thicker, but I'm going to make it thicker down here so I don't mess up my chameleon space. Yeah, Nancy, you just private message me. I will get you all straightened out with getting the kit, okay? Because I know we talked about it. Okay, and then the other branch is going to come out from the same spot. And I went from here to my corner. So I went from here to the corner. Now, if you miss the corner, that's all right. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to make it thicker underneath it. Okay? So, just like that, we painted either 2 or 4 tree branches. Just like that. Right? Nothing hard there. We did it. All we did. We made 4 lines and we made them thicker, and these are going to be our tree branches. And if you're filling it in and you put a little bump or something, it's perfect, because trees are bumpy. They're not smooth. They have little bumps and everything else in them. So if you're filling these in and you wind up jumping and your hand like make something really screwy going on like that, or like these bumps right here, that's perfect, because that's what trees do anyway. That's what trees do anyway. So we don't have to make sure anything is, the only thing we have to make sure of is leaving space for our lovely chameleons. That's all we have to worry about. That's it. That's it. That's all we have to worry about. Alright? And with that, big boy can go in the water. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I don't know if you guys noticed on the event page, I shared my inspiration behind this painting. Because I went in my backyard the other day, and my fern tree had these crazy pink flowers all over it. And I've had that fern tree for probably about 4 years, and I have never, ever, 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 ever seen it do that. So I was just awestruck, and I took a bunch of pictures. I felt like I was in that Avatar movie, and that's where the flowers and the fern leaves in this painting came from. So as you are walking around in the world and you see something and you're like, that is pretty cool, use it to create. Use it to inspire you to make some sort of artwork or something that reminds you of what you saw. Does it have to look exactly like what you saw? No. That's why they call it inspiration. They don't call it photography. They call it inspiration or a muse. So when I tell you guys to go create, that means look for all that cool stuff out in the world that you're like, that would look really, really neat if I drew that, or I painted that, or I made a mosaic, or however you want to do your creativity. Alright, so swirl, tap, dab, big boy. We're still going to use our brown, but I just wanted you to get all the lumps out of them. Or the lumps. Or the big caked up lumpy paint. That's what we need to get rid of. All that extra paint in there. Because we're going to have to make some thin lines right now. Alright, guys? Okay, so I'm swirl tap dabbing them. I'm getting them nice and flat and thin for myself. And these fern leaves are going to be behind the chameleon, so you don't have to worry about them going into the space of where your chameleons are going to be, okay? So you're going to put brown paint just on the tip of your brush, pull it nice and flat. And my first section for the fern leaf is right here. So you're going to swoop out. I'm trying to hold my hand so you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to swoop out from your branch like that. And then you're just going to put a thin little line. And then underneath, you do the swoop the other way. So it's kind of like, if you can't do the swoop, you can give yourself like a little triangle. And then, now to get that thin line, remember we hold back here. Brush is perpendicular to the canvas, and you just pull. Okay? Don't press hard or anything like that. So that's my first one. And then what you want is lines coming out horizontally. Alright, so again, I'm holding my brush back here, straight up against the canvas, and I'm going to put one there and there, and I'm pressing so light, like barely pressing at all on my brush. So you want like a little antenna. Alright. That was easy enough. And then I have another one over here. So I'm going to swoop out from my branch. And this one goes down at an angle through this all the way off. Meghna and Priya, you can just have fun where you put these, okay? So you don't have to worry about having them in a certain spot or anything like that. Wherever you want your fern leaves and wherever how your two paintings look nice together, you can play around with that. And if you want to have them match up when they're like up and down from each other, you could do that. So you guys can get creative with that. There's really no rhyme or reason. Do what you like. Alright, so I'm going to swoop down from this one. I'm going to skip over that branch. And, well, I didn't go off the canvas with that one. Nothing's ever, no two things in art are ever the same, and that's okay. Yours isn't going to look like mine, and mine's not going to look like the original. And that's what makes this awesome. Alright, so I have another one there. And then, again, line that way, line this way. Then you're going to leave some space, you know, about 2 fingers or so. And they don't have to be straight across these lines. You can angle it so like this one is going that way and this one's going that way. Because it's a fern leaf. So they don't have to be straight across these lines. Okay. So there's another one. So you guys can put these in wherever you want. You don't have to follow what I'm doing because mine's not even matching my original anymore. So wherever you want these fern leaves, go for it. So I'm going to put another one right here. So I'm going to draw my little swoopy triangle in. Holding my brush back here, and I'm going to, let's angle it this way. So I'm just going to angle it that way, and I'm going to stop at that branch. And then these are going to point down. Oh, I made one thick. You know what? That's because I'm not paying attention. I didn't clean off the globs from my brush. And am I going to stress about that? No, because I'm going to cover it up with little leaves, so I'm not going to stress. That's awesome, Tammy. Yeah, it's going to look totally different, so it's going to be totally cool. Absolutely. Yeah, so in fact, your chameleons are going to be probably like one over here and one here. So as long as you leave us, you know, you did your branches so you have a space to put your chameleons in, you're good. Alright, so I'm going to put these branches in on that stem. And I have another one coming off here. Did my little triangle. Do my lines across. And let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to throw another one in here. Where do I want another one? I think I'm going to do another one this way. So you can either do the swoop out like that, or you can draw another little triangle and pull your branch out from that. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Maybe these two guys meet up here. Maybe they're friends and they're hanging out together. So they're meeting up over here together. And I'm going to do his a little more straight across, I think. Alright. Now, I did 3 sets of flowers. If you notice, everything's in odds, because odds aesthetically look better for some reason. So I have 5 fern leaves, you know, stems working here. And I'm going to do 3 sets of flowers. So I'm going to do one up here. I know this, so I'm just going to put a dink and a dink. 2 little stems for my flowers. And then I'm just going to smooth that out into my branch there. Alright? And then my other flowers I'm going to put over here, because I don't want my flowers behind my chameleons. The ferns don't matter. But where my chameleons are going, right, you guys should keep that in your head, where your chameleons are going. You don't want your flowers to be there. You want them to be somewhere else. Okay, so I know my chameleon's going right here. So I'm going to put my flowers over there. Okay, so what's really cool about this painting is it actually takes up the whole canvas of doing all these cool little things. And my other flowers, since my chameleon's here and nothing's going on down here, my other flowers I'm going to throw right smack in the middle of that branch. Okay? So, with that, you can wipe off Big Boy and put him in the water. See, I'm liking this music station. I think the music's really good. But the only problem is that there's commercials in between it all. And I'm going to take out that small fluffy brush. But when I swirl tap dab that small fluffy brush, I don't want to fluff it out. I do not want to fluff it out. So I am just going to pull it along like this and keep it from getting all fluffy. Alright? Because I want a brush. They call these rounds because the brush is round and then comes to a point. That's why they're called a round brush. So I want to keep that round brush shape. I don't want to fluff him out, right? So this is the next brush you need. Something like this. That is round here and comes to a point. And it's bigger than your tiny. Like, see tiny next to it? So it's bigger than the tiny. And you want a dark green. So I'm going to take my white, little bit of white, just a little bit. I'm going to grab my yellow, the dirty messed up yellow, and I'm going to grab my blue. I'm going to mix that all together. Now I'm getting like a turquoise, and I don't want that. So I know I need to grab more yellow. And look, I'm grabbing yellow that has brown in it. You know, it's a mess. Because I want a dark green, so it doesn't matter. So when I added that more yellow, see how I got closer to a Kelly green? And I probably didn't make enough of this. So I'm going to grab more white. I'm going to grab my blue. I'm going to grab my yellow. Because I always mix these colors and I never seem to make enough. So, make enough. Again, I'm too torque. Look at this, Magna. Look, look. The blue glob. The blue glob is dripping. Gotta turn my palette the other way. So, again, it's kind of turquoisey. So, I'm going to grab more yellow. There we go. That's better. And then to make this a dark green, I'm just going to add a little bit of black to it. That's all. That's not hard to do. So I have this nice dark green color. See that? And this is a mess now because I just mixed my paint. So I'm just going to wipe that off again, keeping that point on my brush. See how I'm wiping my brush? Alright, so this is the fun part. You're going to put your dark green paint the whole length of that, your bristles. See how I have it almost all the way to the point of where the bristles come out. And you're going to go along your horizontal lines and you're going to smush these leaves in across. And when you get to the end of your stem, you just want to put like 2 or 3 coming out like that. So what you're going to do with all of your little stems that you just made, you're going to put all these separated leaves on it. And as long as you kept the shape of your brush pretty good, it's not going to be nothing to just drop these in. And if you go over your little stem part, that's fine. And you want to make sure they're like kind of sort of lined up. They don't have to be perfectly lined up. You can have an extra one on the top, but a little bit lined up is good. So you're just going to drop these in there on all of those horizontal lines that you made. But don't put any where your center stem is, okay? So this is the fun part, because you're literally just going to dab these all in. And lo and behold, when you do that, you're going to get a fern leaf. So skip over that center branch. And you're just going to dab these in. I think this part's fun because it's just like smush, 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 smush as I'm going along. Like, you know, you don't really have to think. You don't have to worry about nothing. You're just putting in leaves. And when you're done, you have fern leaves. And I thought that was so cool. Because I had to figure out how to make fern leaves. I never painted fern leaves before. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. It actually looks like a fern leaf. So I hope you get the same reaction as you do yours. Because that's how I felt when I painted it. I was like, oh, this really looks like a fern leaf. This is pretty cool. And it's not that hard. You know, because I'm a dork like that. So I get excited about things like that. So you are just dropping in these markings across your whole thing, and you don't have to be careful. You know, if you wind up going here and you wind up going over your stem, we'll cover it later. Don't worry about it. Because we have to add more to our tree stems anyway. So don't worry about it if you wind up going over your branch with a leaf. We'll fix it. We'll fix it later. Do, 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 do. Okay, and when you get to, if you have the top of your fern, like right here, you're pretty much going to just put little dashes on either side of that top stem, and then put one right in the center to top off at the top of the stem. Okay, so when you get to where it's the top of a stem, you put little smushes on either side of the top part of that stem, and then you just put one right in the middle. And that's it. So you guys just fill these all in now. That's all you need to do. Remember that thick branch that I made? It's gone now. I just put the green over it. No worries here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And guess what? I didn't make enough green paint for myself. We could have guessed that, right? I'm going to have to make some more. And if one of your things can, see, look, see if it's they're a little close together, and they just smush them all together. It's a plant, so it doesn't matter. All right, just smush them all together. It's leaves on a plant. And you know plants grow any way they want to. They'll be smushed together, they'll separate from each other, they'll cross over each other, they'll do anything they want. That's just the way they are. Mother Nature is not perfect. So why, when you paint things in nature, do you paint them trying to be perfect? And when they're not. So don't worry about getting any of this perfect. Because you know why? No one's going to notice it anyway. Because the flowers and the chameleons are going to pop. And nobody's going to notice that your leaf touched another leaf. It's just not going to happen. And if you're doing this and you can't see your leaves that you're painting because of your background, just add more black and make them darker. That's all. Just add more black and make them darker. Because these leaves are going to wind up having shadows on them and all sorts of stuff. So they could be dark. They don't have to be this perfect green. They could be a dark, 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 dark color. It doesn't matter. So Magni, I like this part because I'm just smushing, so I like this part. Magni, you like this part? Hannah? Anybody else like this part? Nancy? Iris and Christina, you'll have to let me know when you repaint this. Tara? Julia, Tammy, anybody else digging this? Or am I the only, like, goober here that actually likes doing this? Smushing stuff. And I didn't make enough green, so this green's actually a little bit of a different color, but you know what? It's all good. Like I said, it's a plant. The leaves are all different colors. They grow in all different ways. They crisscross each other. They smush into each other. Awesome. So it is all good. Nancy likes it. See, this is fun. I don't know. I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. And then if you want to throw some random ones in, like, oh, let me fill in that little space, or let me fill in, like, a little space up here, or, you know, go for it. Whatever. It's your world. It's your little forest. Little branches, little fern plants going on. Create. Create. Do what makes you happy. Just do it. Now I'm sounding like a Nike commercial. Just do it. And when you're done with that, you can put your brush in the water. Now we're going to get to the colorful stuff. The colorful stuff. And I bet you my coffee's cold again. How much you want to bet? Hannah, I'm so glad you came back. You guys remember Hannah, right? She painted the sailboat with us. Set sail with their husband, Dustin. You guys remember, right? Magna, do you remember? That was a fun party. We had a good time. Well, we have a good time at every party, right? I think we do. I do. And I guess you guys do too, because you keep coming back, so that's cool. Yeah, see? We remember. I'm going to try putting this down here to see if there's less of a glare when I put it there. I guess it's about the same, huh? Oh, well. Oh, well. There we go. All right. Oh, nice, Hannah. That's awesome. So you did the fireworks one? That's so cool. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Thanks for telling me. That is so cool. Hi, Lisa. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Lisa. Wow, so 10 of you watched the video. And, well, happy birthday to you, by the way. And it's someone's birthday today. I think it's Mary Lou's, but she's not on. Her birthday's the 23rd. Oh, it's not the 23rd yet. Oh, that's so awesome. Those fireworks were fun, right? They were a lot of fun. You got to show me the pictures. You got to send me the pictures. I have to see. I have to see what you girls did. That's so awesome. I'm so glad you watched my video and had a great birthday with it. That just warms my heart. Thank you so much for that. Hi, Lisa. You back from being up north? I think Lisa's gone. Lisa, the other Lisa, you still cooking? Lisa Romero. I always mess up your last name. Oh, awesome. Perfect. Yes, yes, please share. Please, please, please. That's so cool. We had fun with those fireworks, right, Magna? And I think Tara painted the fireworks with me. And Tammy and Julia painted the fireworks with me. So we had a good time. Oh, wow. The mayor joined you? Oh, wow. That must have been fun. Is the mayor a girl or a guy? Thank you, Magna. Thank you, sweetie. He is a family. Oh, my goodness. So it was all you girls and him painting? That is hysterical. That is hysterical. He was probably loving it. Alright guys, so when you're done with that, we're going to map in our flowers and our chameleons. Oh, he was probably loving it. With all you girls, he was definitely loving it. I like when guys paint. Guys, it's amazing to see the difference on how guys paint versus how girls paint. It's really funny. It really, really is. That's fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad you had such a good time for your birthday. That's really cool. I'm so excited for next week. I gotta finish the painting though. So I can post the event. Look, they're actually looking like two little snow cones. Look. So I put them in pails, and I'm going to have like water coming out because, you know, obviously there's snowmen on the beach. So by the end of the day, they're feeling a little drippy. So they're just chilling, watching the sunset. And I might have them holding like a little drink or something. And I'm going to make this into the beach buckets. And I think I'm going to have her holding a shovel and then like a little bathing suit back. So I have all the fun little things to do next. And of course, you guys, when you paint it, you can add whatever little fun details you want. But I think it's coming out uber cute. But that's just my opinion. It's a little biased. Okay, so take a little break here because all of that mush and this stuff's going to be wet. And when we do, awesome. Glad you're excited. When we do our white mapping, I don't want you to get all this like ucky green stuff in there. So take a little break and let's wait until all our mushes are dry, okay? It shouldn't take that long. So if you want to get a drink, or Tara, you want to go have your puff. Megna, you can get yourself a snack unless you're eating one already. Hannah, you can go check on Dustin. Get him a bottle and a pacifier. He's going to watch this and be like, what the hey? Tammy and Julia, you can eat your chicken fingers. So we want to make sure all our little mushes are dry. So when we put the white on our canvas, it doesn't get all ucky. Lisa, you still with us? What are you cooking, Lisa? Last time you were cooking, you were making lobster and all sorts of stuff. Hi, everybody. So we're going to give a minute for that to dry. And I'm getting all my paintings ready to display Saturday. And you guys want to see Butters? Look at Butters. He's sleeping. How's Coco? Oh, hey, Magna, Priya, how's Coco? Guys, if you didn't know, Magna and Priya got a puppy. And his name's Coco. And he's so cute. He's so, so, so cute. And yes, my coffee did get cold, if you were wondering. Oh, excuse my hand. I'm just gonna plug in my phone for a little bit here. I don't know why. I think I have something running in the background on my phone because it doesn't keep a charge as long as it used to anymore. Haha, that sounds so fun. Oh, you guys must be having a blast with them. They're so cute. I'm so happy for you guys. That's so cool. Alright, so I'm almost dry. You guys let me know how you're doing, okay? Is this a Fortnite song? So how you guys doing? Your mush is kind of dry? You almost dry? How's everybody doing? Give me thumbs ups and readies and whatnots if you guys are good to go, okay? It's your party. So you let me know what's going on. How you doing, Nancy? You hanging in tough? You hanging in good? Tara, how you doing? Did you catch up with us? Tammy, Julia. All right, cool, Hannah. All right. All right, Hannah's dry. Who else is dry? And we're going to be using Big Boy. So swirl tap that Big Boy. Get them nice and clean. And make sure you have clean white, okay? Alright, cool. Magna's good. Alright, cool. Magna and Priya are good. Magna and Priya are good. Let's see what Nancy says. I don't know where Tara went. Tammy and Julia, what are you guys up to? See, look at that, guys. You've been painting for an hour and you already made a whole forest. How cool is that? So you're going to swirl tap that big boy. The more you swirl, the cleaner it'll get. Alright, so you want them nice and clean. And we're just going to grab our white paint, right? We're going to mapping. You guys know about the mapping. So we're just going to grab our white paint, nice clean white paint. Right? This is why we take paint from the sides, so we still have clean paint. Nancy's good to go. Love it. You guys are eating dinner? All right. You'll catch up. You always do. I think you need to open a restaurant too, Tammy. I totally think so. So clean white paint on big boy, nice and thin on the edge. And you're going to come over to where your little pieces for your flowers are. See these little pieces that you made before? You're going to come over to them. And you can hold big boy like right here. And I'll show you on these so you can really see what I'm doing. Okay, so you're going to take big boy and go on the tip of your little brown stem you did. And you just want to do these lines coming out like a triangle. So you're just going to pull up and let go. And you're going to fill it all in with those lines like that. Alright? So you're going to do that on all of your little stems that you made. So you come out from the top of your stem and you do all of these little diagonal lines and you just want to fill it all in. Okay, and when we do our colors later, we'll figure out which flower's in front and which one's behind. I think you need to open a restaurant too, Tammy. I concur. Alright, so you're going to do that on all your flower pieces that you made before. And make sure that your paint is nice and thin and flat on the tip of big boy. Okay, nice and thin and flat on the tip of the brush. And if there's a fern, it's going in front of the fern. And if it's going over the canvas, just let it go right off the canvas. It's cool. Magna and Priya, I can't wait to see yours. So, did you guys figure out what colors you're going to do your chameleons and your flowers? Are you going to match mine? Or are you going to go do something different? Like I said, it's your world. You can do whatever you want. Alright, so we're just going to fill all those in. And then I'm going to swirl tap that big boy to get him nice and cleaned off and thin again. So he's nice and clean and thin. And I'm going to grab more of that white paint and we're going to do our chameleons. Okay, so now Magna, you want to do yours facing one way, and Priya, you want to do yours facing another way, okay? All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find your spot where your chameleon's going to go. And the one chameleon with the catching the fly, you want to make sure you leave enough space from the edge of your canvas, because not only are you going to have your chameleon, which is about a hand big for a 16 by 20, you're going to have his tongue coming out. All right? So you want to make sure you tuck them in really nice in this little spot. And easy peasy, lemon squeezy, very simply, you're just going to, whoop, my canvas moved. You're just going to do a hill. All you're going to do. Okay? So you're going to do a hill. Now, I just said that about the tongue, and I don't know if I left enough room. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. And once you have that hill, skip over your branch, but follow that piece down. So where you put this end of the hill, you're going to follow that down to underneath the branch. And you can hold Big Boy like right here. And you're just going to pull down and you turn your fingers so you can curl around. And just do the curl as best as you can with Big Boy. Just make sure you're putting this here so you know that's where the tail's going. If you can't do the curl, that's fine, because we're going to do it with a smaller brush. But you just want to know that that's where your tail is. So you want to take this piece of your hill that you made and come down to the other side of your branch and then do a little curl around, okay? You're like, okay, that's where my tail is. No worries, because the smaller brush will put in the nice curly cue. Right? And then once you have that right here, so in front of your tail part, right, like basically right over that curly cue right here, and this one's going to go over the branch. This is going to be his leg. So I made mine a little long, so I'm going to make part of that his toe later. Okay, so you want to basically end yours like right there. I went a little long. I was being a little nutty. Okay, so you want to end yours like on your branch. All right, and then we're going to come to this side of the hill, and you're going to come out from the bottom. And then you're going to come up from the side, right? You're going to make an L. And then off the top of that L, you're going to go not all the way down, like about halfway in that L. You're going to put a curve that way. I got a phone call. You're going to put a curve that way. And then on this piece, off that bottom flat part, you're going to come out past that and fill that in. Alright, and you know when we fill this in, we can make this shape better. Okay, so that is a curve, and then this comes up All right, and like I said, if you can't do it with the big brush, that's okay. Because you could always grab the small brush and do it with the small brush. All right? And you could just color that in. That's his head. All right, and like I said, when we fill it in, you could always fix your shape better. And if you need to do it, if you need to do these curved little spots here with the smaller brush, then do it with the smaller brush. It's all good. All right, and then once you have that piece, you're going to come right over here behind his head. And you're going to do a piece this way. And then that goes that way. That's his front leg. Okay? And then underneath, you're just going to curve it and then color all of this in. That's how we do that. That's how we make a chameleon. And as you're filling it in, you could always fix something that was a little wonky or you weren't sure of. Like I said, you can go in and do it with the smaller brush. We'll do that once we do the basic shapes of both of them. We're going to grab our smaller brush and finish up our shape. Okay? So no worries there. If there's something in this chameleon you can't do because it's the bigger brush, don't do it. Don't do it. All right? If you can't get one of these curves, then just draw yourself the L and a triangle, and you could put them in. You can put the curves in with the smaller brush. It's totally fine. All right? And you're going to do the same thing for the chameleon over here, and he's just facing the other way. So, how did we do that, right? We made a hill. Whoop. We made a hill. And then we followed that one end of the hill to the other side of the branch and did a little curve in. That's going to be our tail. And then we come to the front of him and we put an L. And then we just fill that in with the curved sections for his head. Like I said, if you can't do that with the big brush, then wait till we're holding the smaller brush. It's totally fine. Right? And then the leg is from behind his head, so you're going to put it this way and this way. And the back leg goes straight down, like that. And then you're going to put in his big old belly part and color that in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nothing hard there. Look at that. Look at you guys. You guys just drew chameleons. Can you believe it? I'm telling you, you are amazing. So amazing. So amazing. And once you're done doing that, you could grab your smaller brush, okay? So I am going to grab, I think I'm going to grab Tiny. Yeah, let's not try to get too fancy here. Let's just go right to the smallest brush we have. Alright? So once you're done with that, big boy can go in the water and grab your tiny brush. This way. Oh, I forgot swoop. Alright, I'll do a swoop now. Thanks. I totally forgot the swoop. So, we're going to grab our tiny brush. And my white's getting a little goopy, so I just added a little bit of water to it. We've talked about that trick already, the tiniest amount of water possible. Okay, so with our tiny brush, you can fix your, I'm holding this like a pencil. Be careful, this is wet. So if you get it on your hands, make sure you're not going to put it somewhere else on your canvas. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to fix my little curves a little bit here. Those were kind of like, eh. And I'm going to make his snout a little bit more squared off. I don't know what you'd call that on a chameleon. A snout, a nose, I don't know. This part up here. Alright, so we're going to do that with the small brush. We're going to come in and give him his toes. So if you wound up making his legs a little long, you could just add his toes. You can just put one coming out at an angle and leaving the long part, or you can add 2 separate toes. Alright, here it is, Nance. Okay? So you're going to take this tail and you're going to follow it around. And you're going to go swoop and do your little curl in there. Swoop that right around. And then you could take your brush and you can make it a little thicker. There it is. There's my swoop right around. Just like that. And his tail feeding into that swoop is pretty thick. It's pretty thick. There it is. So you were worried, like, how are we going to get that little curl in there? How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that, Eve? Well, that's how you're going to do that. With your small brush, treating your small brush like it's a pencil, and you just do a little swoop, curl it around. All right, Magnate, it's your turn to say swoop. All right, on our other chameleon. Okay, so first, we're going to fix the head. His head came out so big. He's got a big head. He's the Dustin chameleon. And look, I got white paint where I didn't want it either. That's what spit's for. That's what spit's for. Alright, so I'm going to fix this back here a little bit because it should be filled in more. And I think I did his head pretty good, so I'm not going to play with that. My toes. I'm going to add my toes. I looked up chameleon feet. They're very weird. They're really weird. Like, they literally have, like, 2 pieces like this. But it's, like, separate claws. There's, like, 3 here and 2 on the back one. And they're like that. It's like the weirdest thing. Like if you like Google chameleon feet, it's like they're so strange. It's like so weird. All right, I'm gonna soften that elbow. Soften the elbow up on the other one. Magna, you ready? You ready? And we're going to come in on our tail. And we're going to go swoop, right around. Right around. There it is. And then you just make that a little thicker. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right, Julia? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And like I said, I'm just holding this like a pencil. Doing our thing. You make that top part thick. And now you guys get to think of what colors you want your chameleons. So all we're going to do is drop in our colors, do a few little things here and there, and we did our Double Trouble Tuesday. We have our awesome cute chameleons going on here. And Meghna and Priya are going to have a nice double canvas that they painted together. There you go. Swoop. Okay. So, now we can go to our flowers. So, in our flowers in mine, okay, the bottom little piece is green. Then it was yellow. Then it was white. And then pink. Alright, and I'm going to use Mini-Me for this. Alright, and Mini-Me was the one. Easy squeezy, you got it, Julia. So, I should have t-shirts made up that say swoop and easy squeezy on them. And a big old lemon. Alright, so I'm going to take out Mini-Me. He's the one that looks like Big Boy, except he's small. And I'm going to do the green last because that's going to be the easiest to, white and yellow are going to, pink and yellow are going to be easy to wash out of my brush. You know what, let me do the green first because then I might mess up the shape of the flower. Nix that. And of course I have to make more green paint because I didn't make enough. You'd think I'd learn after a while. Nah. That would make life too easy, right? So whatever color green you want that's going to show up. And let me do these flowers here. So you can see where to put it. So with the green paint, you're going to go on the bottom part of that triangle. And just mush in a little piece like this, and that could be solid. Okay, so I'm just doing the angles upwards. And I'm going to put that green piece on all 3 sets of my flowers. Okay, so you guys think about what colors you want your flowers and your chameleons, and you can make them any colors you want. We're all going to do the green piece. But like I said, it's completely up to you what colors you want to have everything. Your world. Your world. Paint it any way you want to. Paint it any colors you want to. You don't have to do. I did these colors because it was literally the colors on the fern tree. That was the color of the flowers on the fern tree. I don't know if you saw the picture on the event page, but it was totally cool. Now I'm just washing my brush off because it's kind of globby. And I'm going to switch to yellow, so I really have to clean my brush off. And my next section of flower is going to be yellow. So this is not as solid, so you just want to flick. You just want to flick. Okay? And if your flowers are overlapping, you have to pick which one is going to be the one on top. And which one's going to be the one behind. All right, so when you do your colors now, you just want to flick. And as we're doing this, our chameleons are drying. And we're going to go back and put the color in our chameleons. So how fun is that, right? Telling you. Hi, Michelle. So this you just want to flick. You want to flick these colors in. And try not to grab that green. So we're just flicking, 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 flicking. Alright, I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to grab my white. And I'm going to go above the yellow now. And I'm going to flick in my white part. Did I pick up some yellow? Yeah. Do I care? No. So I'm going to put my white part in there, and I'm just flicking my brush. I'm just flicking the brush. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing. So did anybody go with different colors? Did anybody do something funky? Let me know. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know if you did something funky. Hannah, did you get your chihuahua in there? Did anybody see when Hannah posted her sailboat picture, all her little loves? They were so cute. I want one. I need one. Butters needs a brother. I need one. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to wipe the globs off of my brush. And the top part of my flowers is pink. So, red and white. Not yet? Alright, you'll figure it out. So, red and white, I'm going to make my pink. I'm going to make my pink. And I'm going to come into my flowers. Yellow, blue, and red. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that sounds pretty. Ooh, ah. Now, remember when I said one flower has to beat the other one? That means one has to look like it's on top of the other one, like in front of it. And you really couldn't tell what was going on with this. So when you put your last pieces, what you're going to do is this flower is on top of this one. Okay? So I'm going to turn around and put those pieces in facing that direction. And again, you want it to flick on the top. So we're flicking on the top. And when I do the flower that's behind it, I'm going to make my color a little darker. And then I am just going to do the piece. Well, that wasn't really very much darker, was it? Let's try that again. I'm just going to do the piece that's showing with the flicks. Okay, so that's how you do one flower beating the other. And the same over here. Okay, so this flower is the top flower, so I'm going to do my pieces coming out, because he's the one that's on top. And then I'm going to make my color a little darker. And it's only this little bit that's showing. So I am just going to paint that little bit. And that's how you get the one flower behind the other. Right? That was easy. Okay? So I am going to do my last set of flowers. And then we're going to do our chameleons. What? Alright, so this flower is winning. So I'm going to do my top pieces. I like doing these flowers too because it's just these little flicks and it's like so cool having the 3 separate colors and how it just kind of like pops. I think that's so fun. You know, like you're just like BAM! And it's so simple. So he was winning. My brush is getting really globby today because I'm not being like careful. I'm just having fun with paint today. I'm not being careful. We don't have to be. And then since this one is behind it, I'm just going to do the little bit that's showing behind it with my color being darker. That's it. That's it. And you know what that is? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's right. That's what that is. Alright. Chameleon time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So, you guys figure out how you want your colors to be. On my chameleons, I basically did them like 3 sections. Okay? So, on this one, I made his head green. And then I did the yellow into the body part. And then the piece going into the tail, I did the 3rd color. And I did the end tail color, the same color that's right behind the head. Alright? And then the other one, I just kind of flip-flopped it a little bit. So I flip-flopped the green and the pink. So now his head's pink, then the yellow, then I did the tail part going green, and then again I did the yellow because that was the color right behind my head. And then the legs, I just did whatever color was different. So see how this is yellow and pink? So I did this green. See how this one was yellow and green? So I did one green and 1 pink. So it's all up to you. You can color them in any way you want to. If you want to use the small brush to color them in, go for it. I guess I'm going to stick with Mini Me. So you're going to color in the heads. Alright. So again, I have to make more green paint. And whatever colors you're making them, add a little bit of white to whatever color you're making it. Add a little bit of white. So I have to make my green paint again. So that's what I'm doing. And we're almost done. And we have awesome chameleons because we're amazing. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, and I am just going to color in. So again, I made my green, but I did it with some white. So it was white, yellow, and blue. And I am just coloring in. That's all I'm doing. And just like a chameleon, it's kind of hard to see him against the background of the painting. So I guess I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish. And I'm just using that brush since it has the flat edge, and I'm just running it along my edge, you know, making it just the way I want it now. You know, we drew it with the white because we could have that all wonky and kind of mess it up a little bit. And then we filled it in with the white, getting it a little bit better. And now as we fill it in with our colors, we can make it even better. So no worries there. We don't need no stencils. How do you like that for good English, right? Talk about a double negative. We don't need no stencils. No. Because we are awesome. We can totally do this. This is not hard at all. Alright, so there's his head. And I gotta do his feet. Alright, so there's one leg. So all we're doing is coloring. That's all we're doing now. We're putting colors into our chameleons. How fun is that? And as soon as we're done doing this, we got a couple little details to add. And we'll be done with Double Trouble Tuesday. I'm going to do his other leg. And you want to add the white because if you noticed, I didn't stay within the line that I made before. That's okay. And that's why you want to add the white. So this way, if you go outside of the white that we drew before, it's still going to have coverage for the paint behind it. See, there's a method to the madness, believe it or not. I actually have a method to the madness. There is a method there. And I have extra paint on my brush, so I'm just going to fill in the head. You know, the more layers you do with acrylic paint, the more your colors are going to pop. So you guys are more than welcome, once this dries, to throw another coat on if you want. Okay, cleaning off my brush. Cleaning off my brush. And I'm going to do the piece going into the tail first. So that was pink on my original. Magna and Priya, what colors are you doing yours? And Tammy and Julia told me. Hannah, Nancy, Tara, what color are you guys doing yours? So I am going to do my tail part, and if you notice, I'm just zigzagging here. For when those two colors come together, it's just going to be like a zigzagging line. See, I'm doing this motion and I'm just zigzagging. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and you're going to go around your leg. You're going to go around your leg. Just like that. And I'm going to go into the tail. And then you want to do the little zigzagging as you're ending that color. See how I rolled my brush on my canvas just then? That was to get the globs out of my brush and not waste the paint. You like that little trick? That was pretty good, right? Telling you. Purple, yellow, and green. Oh, that sounds so cool. Purple and yellow look amazing together. And the green as a base, that's going to be so cool, Nancy. What a great combo. I love it. I love it a lot. Tara's blue and purple. Hannah, teal, pink, and purple. Ooh, I like that too. You all answered me at the same time. Teal, pink, and purple. Okay, you know how to make the teal, right? Less yellow in your green paint. Purple. Blue and purple. Another purple. Purple. Green and orange. Purple. Yellow. Boy, you guys are digging that purple. I love it. Okay, so I have to clean off my brush. And my last section to color in is the yellow part for me. So I'm going to grab clean white paint and my clean yellow. And when you put these two where it connects, you're going to do the zigzag. See how I'm just doing my hand? So you're going to do the zigzag where those colors meet on his body. That's all. Okay? You're just going to do the zigzag where they meet. And then you could fill in the rest of them. If you want to do this with Big Boy, you're more than welcome to do it with Big Boy. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. That sounds really neat too, Magna. I like that. I like your descriptive words. Tangy orange. I like that. I like how you used a... Nancy, you don't do pink? Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I told you. I only did the pink because that was the flowers on my tree. So, I like how you used a word, Magna, that usually describes a taste, and you used it to describe a color. That was really cool. Alright, so there we go. Oh, I forgot his tail. I forgot his tail. Let me get that tail. Alright, swoop. There's the tail. Swooping that around. Swooping that around. And again, where the colors meet, just do a little zigzag. That's all. Okay, so I'm going to color my bottom one, but I'm going to switch to Big Boy to do it. You guys do whatever you're comfortable doing. I got to get more clean yellow and more clean white because mine's a big mess. It's 100% a big mess. I have to color my other chameleon, Magna. You're going to have to wait a second. And I will show you all that stuff. And you can't paint it on until they dry. So there's a couple other things to do beforehand. I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay, so yellow was here. So I just switched to Big Boy. You guys fill these in with whatever brush you're comfortable. And again, I'm doing zigzaggies here. Same motion, just bigger brush. Okay, I'm going to have to do the yellow with the small brush. And then clean it off. I'm going to do my pink. I'm going to do my pink head. I can't wait to see everybody's. Make sure you remember to post your painting to the event. I already put the spot to where you could share your painting. So if you didn't, so you have to post your painting so I can see. And Hannah, don't forget, I want to see your girls' fun that you had. Definitely want to see that. So there's his head. Now I got to do the green body. And I use the flat of that brush to fill in and keep my shape and keep my lines. I use the flat of the brush to do that. Zigzags. Do, 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 do. I like doing the zigzags. I think they're fun. I think the zigzags are fun. Ziggy zaggy, ziggy zaggy, ziggy zaga, ziggy zaggy, zoogle zoogle. We need a new noise for when I do zigzags. I have swoop for the curves, but I need to think of something for the zigzags, because those are fun too. Okay. Oops. My brush is wet. Make sure your brush isn't wet. If your brush is wet, you're going to mess everything up. And I almost messed everything up because my brush was wet. Zip, zip, zoo. I kind of like zip, zip, zoo. What do you think, Julia? Zip, zip, zoo? I don't know. I go zip, 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 zoo, zigzag, zigzag. We got to have zag in there somehow. But I like that. I like where you're going with that, Magna. Zip, zip, zoo. What does everybody else think? Okay. So I'm filling in my tail. I'm going to fill in more up here because it was two different color greens. Zip, zip, zoo. Close. It's really close. Zip, zag zoo? No, that's that. I'll mess that all up. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. Maybe. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. I don't know. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. I think I could do that. You might have to remind me, though, Magna. I might forget. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. Alright, so now I'm grabbing my small brush to do the other things because I can't do them with the big brush. So the rest of the tail, swoop, swoop. Rest of my tail, swooping that in. And then zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. I don't know, what do you guys think? Think that's good? Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo? I just did it. Zip, zag, zip, zip, zoo. Zippity-doo-dah. Ooh, I like zippity-doo-dah. Kind of like Wizard of Oz, right? Alright, so I gotta do my feet. Make sure my feet are in there. Zippity zaggity zoom. Ooh, I like that too. Oh, you guys are so good. Oh, I like that too. Zippity zaggity zoom. Zippity zuka zuma. Zippity doodah. Yes, see, that's what. Oh, it's from Alice in Wonderland. What did I say? Wizard of Oz. Zippity doodah. Zip zaggity doo, zippity zaggity doobie. I don't know. I'm messing it all up now. Oh my goodness, I'm just messing that all up now. Alright, so we need these to dry before we put our colors in, before we put our other little details. What I want you to do is take your tiny brush, clean them off really, really good, and grab your white paint because we're going to draw his tongue. Okay, so we're going to map the tongue. So, tiny brush, white paint. And like I said before, make sure you leave enough room for the tongue. Well, guess who didn't leave enough room for the tongue? This girl. So, holding it like a pencil, you can pull out your tongue as far as you want it to go, and you're just going to do a little curl up. And then I want you to take that white paint, and I want you right underneath this hump Let me show you on the pink guy so you can see. So right underneath this hump. Oh, there you go. And on this part right here, so right where that crease is, right in that sweet spot, you're going to put a white circle for the eyeball. Alright? So, again on my green one, there's my sweet spot where that little swoop is. And then I'm just going to toss in a white circle. Now you could do a scribble circle where you just go around like this until it's circular. Or you can do the parentheses trick. It's up to you. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to dry a little bit, what I want you guys to do is I want you to take out Big Boy. Alright? And that brown paint you were using before. Hannah, you did the Memorial Day painting, so we're going to do the trick that we did with the dock. So take out Big Boy, scroll tap that Big Boy, and you're going to grab your brown paint. You're going to grab your brown paint, and then you're going to grab some black. Alright, black and brown. And all those pieces of our ferns before, I want you guys to drop in. Now, you don't have to follow it all along. You're just going to do like dashes. So I want you to put these like darker dashes in there. And then where it meets the tree, I want you to put in where it meets the tree. And then you're going to grab your brown and your black, and along your tree branch, you're going to put the edge there, and you're going to do like a curl with the brown and black on your brush. And when you do that, just like when we did the pier, you're going to get this brown and black variation of color that's really going to make your tree branch look like a real tree branch. See that? Yeah, I think Zippity Doodle I'll remember. Or you or Nancy can remind me. So all I'm doing is grabbing brown and black on my paintbrush. And I'm going from the one edge and I'm curling it around my tree trunk. And it's going to cause the same effect. And then under here I'm just kind of smushing. And then you could go from the bottom up too if you want to. And then where they meet, pick who's on top and who's on bottom. So whoever's on top, you're going to see that part. And then whoever's on bottom, you're just going to have to fill that in, okay? So we're going to do these details in our tree trunks. And as we're doing this, our chameleons are going to dry. And remember when I said before, if you overlap at one of your fern leaves or your tail or any of that, guess what? Now you're going to cover it right up with the detail of your tree. So if you overlapped at any part or your hand jumped, you can take this brush and doing the brown and black detail of your tree, you can cover right over it. So like I said, I am just grabbing my brown paint. And then I'm grabbing a little bit of black on that brown paint. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. And remember that whole big mess I had going on over here? Can you see all the white and the green and everything else? Brown and black. Doing a curve. Look at that. And it's gone. And it's gone. Just like that. Just like when Coco eats a treat. And it's gone. I'm doing mine a little dark so you can see what I'm doing, and you just put in the piece and leave it alone. If you keep going over it, you're going to blend it together and lose that separation of color. So I want you to do that on your branches, and then I want you to do this, just dashing in darker pieces of your fern stems. You're not redrawing the whole stem, you're just putting in darker pieces. Alright, so as we're doing that, our chameleons are going to dry. We could put their cute little faces in, and we'll be all set. Because you guys are amazing. I love my painting family. You guys are all amazing. Okay, so I'm going to pick which trunk is winning. So I'm going to make this the trunk on top winning, okay? So I'm going to make sure that you can totally see where his arches are. And then the one that's underneath, I'm going to just grab extra black and put it underneath. See that? So that's how you show something behind the other. The thing that's behind it is darker, and you can't see the details that are behind the other object's piece. Alright, so we're going to fill that in just like that on your little stems and in your little triangular part with the black and the brown. And then when we're done with that, our chameleons are going to be nice and dry. And we're going to add their cute little faces and his cute little tongue. And it's going to be awesome. And again, I told you, I had you guys, if you wound up going over on your branch anywhere, I said don't worry about it, right? I said I got you. That we're going to do something to cover that up. And just doing this little trick. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. See, that now you guys know why I paint, because I cannot sing. So just doing that little trick makes your tree look like a real tree. And if you went over on your tail or drawing your body in or any of your stems, now you're covering it up. It's all good. It's all good. And if you want to make the pieces where your flowers connect, I got it right, Meg Nicole. If you want to make those pieces on your flowers a little darker, you can do that too. You can do that too. And you can thank Bob Ross for this little step that makes all the difference in the world. And it's not even that hard. Alright, it's face time. What? So, tiny brush, nice and clean, swirl, tap, dab. Grab your red paint. Go like a pencil. If you just painted here, make sure you don't have any stuff on your hands. That white tongue Grab your red paint and make it red. Swoop, just like that. Clean off your brush. Pick a color for your eyeballs. Pick a color for the eyeballs. So we're going to fill in our eyeballs, whatever color you want them to be. I made this one pink. I made the other one green, but I'm going to, well, I guess I'm going to make it green because it's on a pink face. So we're going to make the other one green. Right? Cleaning off my brush in between colors. Now, where the tongue ends, right here, tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm just going to do a little circle that way, like a little oval shape, making a triangle. In white. And then I'm going to grab my black. And under that little triangle, I'm just going to put a little black piece. So there's our little fly. And then for his smile, I had it be a little bit open where the tongue was coming out. And then you just pull. I'm holding the brush still, and I'm moving my hand. I'm holding the brush still, and I'm moving my hand across. Okay? And our other little friend down here. Again, I'm holding the brush still, and I'm moving my hand across. And then I do the little curl. Okay? And we're going to grab white paint and do their crazy little eyeballs. One. And there's two. And there you have it, guys. You did it. You did it. You painted our awesome chameleons. Yes, you did. Look at that. You guys are so amazing. I'm telling you, you're absolutely amazing. So, I'm going to let you look at the one where I went a little more careful with and everything else. So you can see all the tiny little final touches, but pretty much I covered everything as far as the final touches are concerned. Oh, I forgot the white stripes. So if you want the white stripes, I don't have to explain to you how to put white stripes in. I think you guys got it. I think you guys got it for the white stripes, or whatever color stripes you want to give it. So I just want to say you are all 6,000% amazing, and I love you all. And anybody watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. Share your pictures with me on the event page, please. And you know what? If you're being hard on yourself, just remember, you've only painted so many paintings, and I've been painting for a very long time. So remind yourself of that and relook at your creation and know that you did absolutely amazing. And anyone watching the replay, if you have any questions, you can message me. I'll answer them. Okay, so no party this Friday. Next Tuesday, a zoom, where we're going to zippity-doo-dah, zag, and swoop, and do all sorts of fun stuff. And we get to hang out and talk to each other and look at each other. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Julia, for helping me out with that. And I love you all. Now go create. Gratuities are appreciated. Tell your friends it's free to watch. And I will see all you guys next Tuesday. Okay? So, Nancy, Hannah, Meghna, Priya, Lisa checked in with us. Iris checked in with us. Christina checked in with us. Tara's painting with us. Thank you, family, for joining me. Nancy, that is absolutely perfect. Hannah, you are absolutely 6,000%. You are welcome. Goodbye, Meghna. I love you. Goodbye, Priya. I love you. And your man in the background. Nancy, that'll work perfectly. Hannah, I hope Dustin feels better real soon, okay? So I really, really hope he feels better soon. And thank you for painting with me today. You're hooked now. You're part of the family, sweetheart. No running away. Bye, Meghna. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Tammy and Julia, thank you so much for helping me coming up this weekend and for doing the Zoom with me. Thank you. Zoom, zoom, zoom. That's right, Meghna. I actually get to see your pretty little face in person. Bye. Thank you so much, Tammy. I will reach out to you on Friday to let you know the exact time. I'll meet Julia there. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. All right, Meghna. I won't hit the button until I know you're gone. If I finish the painting, if not today, definitely tomorrow. If I don't have it up there tonight, then you'll definitely see it tomorrow. Okay, sweetie? I'll get that event up there. And you can tell all your friends, because we didn't see Hamsini today. We didn't see Megan today. So let them all know, all right, Meghna? Let them know. Bye-bye. Anybody was wondering what I do with my paint? I use my handy dandy sponge. I scoop it out of the palette and I put it in a Tupperware, and it usually lasts a good week like that. Thanks, Tara. Thanks for the heart. And when you scoop it out, you want to start with your lighter colors first. Oh, that left something really cool in my palette. Look at that. And that's it. And I just seal my Tupperware, and it lasts for about a week. Bye, sweetie. And then if you let this dry, you can just peel this off. And then once you have the bulk of it off, and peeling it off is actually really fun, then you can just dish soap and a little little soft sponge with a little scrubby on it, nothing abrasive. And you could clean the whole palette off and get it right back to new again. Okay? If anybody was wondering. So, I love you all. Everybody on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Gratuities appreciated. I do have Venmo and PayPal posted. If anybody would love a painting kit, I do have them available. $45 for each. Shipping and handling is extra. I could porch drop off if you are local. Message me and we'll figure out the details together. And thank you so much. I love you all. And definitely go create. Okay? I'll see you all next time.